Hello, my name is Homer. I'm with Southwest Mailing Systems in Las Vegas, Nevada. I want to thank you for joining my occasional vlog. I hope I can dispense a little bit of information today that'll be helpful for you. One of the things that I have dealt with over the years of being involved in the mailing industry is what do companies, or what should companies do when it's time to renew their postage meter lease? What I've seen over the years is the most common thing that people do is they go out, listen to their current postage meter rep, and order whatever they tell them to order. Sometimes that's a great decision. That's exactly what they need to do. The person is a respected individual. They've worked with them for years. They're getting a very economical product. They really believe that they're getting the best solution possible. In that case, maybe the best thing for them to do is simply to renew that lease and continue on. My suggestion, however, is take a few minutes and do a little bit of homework. And how much homework you're going to need to do is dependent on several things. The first thing that you need to ask yourself is, how much am I spending? You know, if I'm spending $30 a month, well, how much time do I really want to spend analyzing to see if it makes sense to make a change? Another thing I need to look at is, have there been any significant changes in my system over the last couple of years that would mean that I need to alter the way I do business? The next thing I need to ask myself is, how is my current vendor performing? Are they performing at a level that I expect? Are they performing at a level that I am satisfied with? If they are, again, that's going to weigh heavily on what you're going to do and what you're not going to do. There are a couple of other things that I really believe that you need to do in making the decision about what you're going to do for your next postage meter. First of all, one thing that's really important for you to realize, there isn't a postage meter company out there that I'm aware of that doesn't give you a little bit of leeway in making a decision. If your rep comes in and tells you you've got to sign today because it slipped through the cracks, and if you don't sign today, then they're going to have to take your postage meter away tomorrow. Tell them to come take it away. They won't do it. And if they do it, it's probably in your best interest to move on to a different vendor. Of the vendors out there, some of them are going to give you an annual renewal if you don't renew in time. Others are going to give you a 90-day renewal. And you'll need to double check your specific contract to see what your contract actually says. But nobody renews you automatically into another year. Nobody comes and takes your equipment. The only time people are going to come and take your equipment is if you quit paying. And then you've got a whole lot of other issues that we're not even going to deal with today. But there are a couple things that I really want to talk about. The number one thing that I want to talk about, so it's time to renew your postage meter. First of all, analyze what you're doing now. One of the things you want to ask yourself is, what is working? What about my postage machine? Do my people like? Do I like? What's working well? The next thing you need to ask yourself is, what new things would I like to see in my machine? Is there something that my people would like my machine to do that it's not doing now? Maybe you've got a really small machine and people are always complaining about sealing the envelopes. Maybe you should look for a sealing machine. Maybe you've got a great big machine and it's doing a lot of great things, but somebody heard about this ability to put a barcode on your postage on your mail as it flows through the meter. Maybe you should see if that's something that makes sense in your particular environment. How much are you currently spending? How much are you spending on your equipment? How much are you spending on your postage? Let's stop on equipment for just a second. When I talk about equipment, make sure that you're looking at all facets of your payments. Most of you have one payment that covers your meter, your maintenance, and your equipment, and your rate changes. Some of you may have a separate maintenance agreement, or a separate agreement to cover your rate changes, or these things might be broken up in a number of different arenas. So you really want to make sure that you're considering all of your costs when you're looking at your equipment cost. When we talk about postage, I think one of the things we need to look at is not just postage from the United States Postal Service, but also analyze your UPS and your FedEx costs as well. One of the things to look at is you're looking at UPS and FedEx costs. Why are you using UPS? Why are you using FedEx? I'm a huge advocate of the Postal Service. I think the Postal Service does fantastic things. However, if it has to be there tomorrow, I'd recommend probably using FedEx or UPS overnight. Don't use the post office. It absolutely positively has to be there tomorrow. It's not a good solution for that. If it needs to be there in the next 3 to 4 days, the post office is a fantastic solution. Their priority mail solution is probably better today than it's ever been. If you're mailing something that's going to say in your same region, basically in the contiguous states, a lot of times that mail is going to get there in 1 to 2 days. I live in Las Vegas. If I ship something via priority mail to Southern California, most of my people are receiving it the following day. So that's something to remember. So take a look at your UPS and your FedEx bills. What are you sending through them? Are those things that you could take and adjust from FedEx and UPS and move over to the post office? You say, Homer, why in the world are we talking about FedEx and UPS when you're talking about renewing a postage meter? Well, because you might need to make sure that your postage meter can handle whatever that volume might be or whatever those pieces of mail might be. Does your postage system give you the ability to print a UPS-like label to put on your mail pieces? Is that important? Maybe, maybe not. Does that mean I'm going to have to spend a whole lot more money? No, it doesn't. Matter of fact, depending on what you're doing, there's a free program from the post office that may do everything you need as far as creating the label. Still need a postage meter with this program to put postage on your package, but it gives you the opportunity to get your commercial-based pricing and get your tracking and get your full 4x6 label on your mail piece. After you've done that, after you've sat down and you've said, where are we at now? And you've got a clear picture of your current mailing situation, of what you're currently using for equipment, and you've looked at what your future probabilities are. One thing that's interesting in the mailing industry, not many of us have dramatically increased our mail volume over the last few years. Most companies have reduced or held steady. Unless you're a young and growing company, most mailings aren't increasing. They're holding steady or decreasing because we're using technology and other forms a lot more. So, you want to look at these things and make sure that you understand fully where they are. Now that you know where you're at, the next thing you need to do is go out and get some quotes. Don't be fooled. First of all, the United States Postal Service does not offer postage meters. If your current vendor is presenting themselves as being the United States Postal Service, it's probably a great idea to go somewhere else. The post office does not offer postage meters. You must get your postage meter from one of a few vendors. There is, in alphabetical order, there is a company called DataPack. They're based out of, I believe, Rochester, New York. There's a company called FP Mailing Solutions. They're out of Addison, Illinois. There's a company called Hassler Neopost or Neo Hassler or Neopost or Hassler. Not exactly sure what they're going by today. They're located out of Connecticut. And then there's Pitney Bowes that's located out of Connecticut. So those are your only 4 vendors for postage machines. Yes, there are a couple of solutions. There's a product called Indicia that's an online service that some people have looked at. Some people have found it useful. If you're doing a lot of mail volume, probably not something that's going to work very well for you for a lot of different reasons. It just doesn't have the convenience of a postage meter. So, get some quotes. This isn't quite like the copier industry, where if I open up the yellow pages and I look to see how many copier companies are, if I Google copier dealers in my territory, I'm going to find probably 100 of them. Well, maybe not quite that much. It depends on where you're at. If you're in Southern California, there probably are 100 different copier vendors. But you know what? There are only DataPack, FP Mailing Solutions, Neopost Hassler, Pitney Bowes are the only people who are authorized by the United States Postal Service to provide postage meters. There is nobody else. If you get a quote from those 4, you've got them all. Now, in some areas, you might see Neopost and Hassler represented by 2 different vendors, but those are really the same manufacturer, same machine. You might find in some territories where you can find FP Mailing Solutions from more than one vendor. But again, most of that stuff, if you have those 4 manufacturers, you've essentially covered the gamut. So effectively, meeting with 4 vendors, you have gotten all of the information you need to cover all of the postage meter options that you have available to you. One of the things I want to mention too, there's the old adage from the Trojan days, the Trojan horse days of, I believe it's Greek mythology, beware of the gift horse. If you have a vendor who's promising you the world, if you have a vendor who's promising you an abnormal amount of savings by buying their machine, stop and take a look. One of a couple of things is probably true. Either one, the solution has been, the savings have been greatly enhanced. Two, that same solution is available for more than one other vendor. Three, they have simply misunderstood what your application is. So really take a really close look at anything that seems out of the ordinary. Now, that person may be bringing something to your attention that you've never thought of before. One of the things that a lot of people aren't aware of, the United States Postal Service today offers something called electronic signature confirmation on your certified mail. It saves money. And it might be a great solution for you. I know that I found that it's a great solution for me to use an electronic certified return receipt so that I don't have to deal with a green card. I can know as soon as something's been signed for, and I can electronically store those signatures. It's a great solution if you're doing a lot of certified mail, and it saves you money. So yeah, you might, if you're doing 100 certified mails pieces a month, that could potentially save you $100 a month. And that could more than pay for your mail machine. As I sit here and say this, I have to ask myself, why am I not doing this a little bit more? But anyway, coming back on target here. There are a lot of great solutions for you. Every vendor out there has got a certified mail solution for you. So don't let one vendor lead you to believe that he's the only one who's got that solution. If they're talking about having about commercial-based pricing and how their system can do commercial-based pricing, they can all do commercial-based pricing with their systems. It's just, what is it going to cost you to accomplish commercial-based pricing? Bottom line is, even if you're happy with your current vendor and you believe your current vendor is doing you a great job, it might be a great idea for you to take a few minutes and just keep your current vendor honest. At least get one quote, and then if you find something that's totally out of range from where you're currently at, then maybe you want to go out and get that second or third, that third or fourth quote. But I know from experience that over the years, most vendors do not give you competitive pricing if they do not think that there is competition in play. I could go on. If you want some more information, if you'd like to talk to me further, please give me a call. Again, my name is Homer Schmucker. The name of my company is Southwest Mailing Systems. You can reach me at 702-736-7715. Again, that's Homer Schmucker with Southwest Mailing, 702-736-7715. And you can find my information in the comments below. Thank you.